Hi, I'm Luis Garcia, and let me ask you a few questions. Have you started a business before but end up failing in the process? Have you started a business and now stuck and reached a plateau and you can't scale your business any further? Have you played with the idea of starting a business but don't know where to start? Would you like to learn the 8 most important steps to start, maintain, and succeed in any business? If you answered yes to any of these questions, then this is for you and you are in the right place. In this video, I will go over the 8 most important steps to start, maintain, and succeed in any business. So if you want to learn this, stay tuned. Hi and welcome back. I'm Luis Garcia and I'm an author, public speaker, entrepreneur, thought leader, and I'm an educator on the topic of personal development, self-help, business, and spirituality. And what I do is that I help people like yourself master your own psychology and put your game into perspective so that you can be equipped to cultivate healthy relationships, financially succeed, and fulfill your life purpose as I offer valuable insights that helps to improve your life for the better. So to begin this conversation, I have to start by saying that if you want to start, maintain, and scale your business, you have to understand the 8 fundamental and most important steps that you need to do in order to start, maintain, and scale your business. These 8 steps is also something that you must implement to your business not just once, but all the time, as these 8 steps is truly the root to your business. It is also wise to say that it is best to create a system where you can ritualistically practice and apply these 8 steps easily and sufficiently so that you can always gain momentum in your business endeavor. So, in saying that, let's go over the 8 steps. Step number 1 is finding problems and solving problems. So the first step is to discover a problem you see in the world and create a product that helps to solve that particular problem. You have to understand that the science is simple. Where there is a problem, a product can be invented to solve that problem, and with a good sales message, the product will sell itself really. When you really zoom into the problem, automatically you will grow to understand how to create a product that can help solve that particular problem. It's as if the problem defines and reveals what kind of product to create to help solve it. This is a very important step to take in the 8 steps. This step is the most important of them all as it helps define all the other steps. So, do not overlook this step. In the process of understanding the problem, answering these questions can help. Ask yourself, what problem are you trying to solve that matters to you? Is it really a problem that needs to be solved? Who has this problem? How many people are suffering from this problem? From what age range and what gender suffers the most from this problem? How and in what way this problem affects these people's lives? These are important questions to answer as it helps to know who you are talking to, and it helps you to understand your potential customers' needs and the kind of product to create for them. Really understand the problem. The more you understand the problem, the better you will understand what kind of product to create. When you see this with clarity, you will understand what your services will be about, what you stand for, and how to position yourself and your company in relation to your customers. The problem truly defines all this for you, and this is why this step is so important for you to do, because everything else will fall in place when the problem is truly defined and understood by you. So, to make these 8 steps more understandable, I will use Steve Jobs as an example to draw the parallels to what I'm saying so that you can better understand and connect the dots. Steve Jobs' career started by addressing a problem that he saw in society. The problem that Steve Jobs saw was that the creative human potential was not really fully being expressed, nor being utilized as much what he saw what could have been possible. This lack of creative expression created limitations in people's lives and in society. Steve Jobs understood that when you limit the creative expression of people, you get fewer resources from each other, and this stops the evolution of human development, and this even stops social development. This stopping of human development and social development is a problem for sure, as it stops the human evolution in general. This was a big problem during that timeline. The effects of this problem was limited communication, fewer jobs because there was no need for employment for such industries because they didn't exist, and less of an outreach for the common person to incorporate themselves and build their own career because the technology wasn't there. This problem affected everyone, and this needed to be fixed by taking the creative human potential to the next new level. So, to connect the dots for step one, which is finding problems to solve, a problem was defined and Steve Jobs was passionate about solving this problem, and he moved into solving it. A great example to step one. I will pause right here, but I will continue to use Steve Jobs' life to draw the parallels as we move forward so that you can connect the dots within each step. Step number two is create the product and provide the solution to the problem. This is where you have to create the product that will solve the problem and sell the big idea. This is where you pull in your resources to invent and create the product. You see, because you took the time to understand the problem, you will understand how to create a product that will solve the problem. Also, while creating the product, you have to make your product different from your competitors so that your product can stand out as being different from the rest, and that your product can solve the issue in ways that no one else can. Okay, so going back to Steve Jobs to draw the parallels within this particular step. After Steve Jobs defined the problem, he surrounded himself with people who would help him create the product. He found investors to fund the project, and he worked with computer programmers and coders to help build the product. Then when the product was created, he presented the solution, which was the personal computer, a technology that we all know well today. The personal computer at the time was introduced as a technology that allowed people to express their creativity, a technology that acted as an extension to the individual creative expression. This product would create more jobs and allowing the common person to have a more of an outreach where the common person can incorporate themselves and build their own career. This upgrades the human creative potential and provide greater resources from each other, bringing greater abundance to each other in areas where once we lacked before. Step number three is introducing and launching your product. After you found a problem you want to solve, followed by gathering resources to create the product that solves the problem, then now it is about packaging it and brand it, and this is where you launch your product. This is your product launch and where you put it out there and share it with the world. This is where you educate your potential customers about how your product works and how it can change their lives for the better. You answer questions like, how does your product or services actually work? Show some examples, have some testimonials or endorsements, and really show off your product. Communication here is very important. People will not buy, invest, or show interest if they don't understand your product. So the clearer you communicate and educate your prospect about your product, the better. So make sure your message is clear and inspiring. Again, what will give you the ability to speak clearly is if you truly understand and define the problem you seek to solve. The more you know the ins and outs of the problem, the more you will know how to break it down and make others understand the solution and how your product is the solution to the problem. Know your problem. Define it. I cannot stress this enough. Okay, so going back to Steve Jobs to draw the parallels and connect the dots within this particular step. When it came down to introducing his product to the world, the 1984 commercial that he launched was one of the ways how he introduced his product to the world. He sold the big idea in his 1984 television commercial that introduced the Apple Macintosh personal computer, a technology that would save humanity from conformity. In this commercial, he positioned himself as a leader that promised to take others to a whole new experience and change people's lives. Another way how Steve introduced his product was that he created a brand, a culture of people who resonated with the idea of not conforming to Big Brother and be your own creative individual person. He targeted a market, a group of people who already felt this way, and built a culture, a community of like-minded people to target and introduce the product to and get them to revolve around his product. This helped him launch his product. In building these communities, he made sure he gathered real examples and evidence of how the product is changing people's lives. These examples translated into testimonials or endorsements that he used to really show off his product and make investors and customers understand it. Steve Jobs gathered many testimonials and many people understood and subscribed to his message while building his credibility. Step number 4 is building a team of experts. One of the reasons why it's so important to really understand the problem you seek to solve is because it also helps to define what kind of team to build in your company. Depending on the problem you seek to solve, it is safe to say that it is best to build a team that has expertise in the subject matter and that also feels strong about solving the same problem that your product is targeting. You see, if your employees have the expertise, they can help to perfect the product and scale the business. Also, if they feel strong about solving the same problem, their passion will bring great ideas to help with the process and bring a sense of joy into the workspace, which makes work a lot more fun and enjoyable. This is one of the many reasons why it's so important to understand the problem you seek to solve, as it helps to bring all this into perspective, which leads to better choice in the process. Also, if you have a team, it is not just a noble act for you to introduce your team in needed times, but it's the right thing to do. Show the people behind the idea and briefly describe their role. A happier team leads to better production and an enjoyable workspace. Introduce yourself as well. Build some credibility here. Let others know your skills, passion, and interests in life. Let others know who you are and why you are here. Keep it short, charming, and sweet. Make others feel comfortable to be themselves near you, as this helps to build relationships. Okay, so going back to Steve Jobs to draw the parallels and connect the dots within this particular step. We can see clearly that Steve Jobs surrounded himself with like-minded people who had the same passion for solving this serious problem and to help with product development. Steve Jobs has surrounded himself with the best experts to help him scale the company, such as the best news media, inventors, marketing experts, management teams, designer teams, computer programmers, and technicians, and the list goes on to scale a company of this size, of course. These were people who truly believe in this movement, people who felt strongly about solving the same problem, and their passions brought great ideas to help with the process. Building a strong team is one of the strong keys to success. Step number 5 is know and understand your market. It's one thing to understand the problem you seek to solve, but it's another thing to understand your market. Do some research and know the size of your target market and understand the role that your product will play in the market. Know your numbers and the potential for your product successes. Be realistic here. Don't play the guessing game, because if you guess wrong, you'll be telling yourself the wrong analysis along with the wrong ideas, which leads to poor choices that initially are already working against you. If you play the guessing game on this, then you are doomed to fail. But if you do your research, you will know what you are dealing with, and therefore you will make realistic choices that will lead to success, because you are responding to what is real to respond to within the market. So for example, if you are going on a road trip and if you don't do research on how much money you're going to need exactly, you'll be stranded on Highway 60 out there in the middle of nowhere. But if you calculate that you are going to need $500 for gas, $200 for food, and $300 to stay at affordable hotels, you will know that you will already need a minimum of $1,000 to have a successful trip. So my point here is that do your research and be prepared to meet the needs that are needed to prevail in the market, and let the market inform you of that kind of information, such as how much you will spend and your potential gains, and knowing what to do that is different from your competitors. Alright, going back to Steve Jobs to draw the parallels and connect the dots within this particular step. One of the reasons why Steve Jobs was so successful at marketing Apple products is because he made sure he understood his market. He understood his potential customers' core values, what they believed in, and what was important to them, and how they wanted a technology that best represented their personality. He knew his competition as well. He understood the up-and-coming trends and who to target in the industry. We all remember that one commercial from 1997 where Steve Jobs is literally talking to his target market. That one commercial that started out by saying, "Here's to the crazy ones, the misfits, the rebels, the troublemakers, the round pegs in the square holes, the ones who see things differently, they're not fond of rules. Remember that one? Steve Jobs approached his marketing campaigns with empathy. He understood the needs of his customers, their frustration, dreams, and values. He understood the numbers in the market and how to target a fair price point for his products, and he was not guessing in the process. All this is the reason why he was so successful. Step number 6 is learning from your competitors. You can also understand your market not just by what the consumer is buying, but also from what your competitors are selling and how. Are other companies selling the same product to solve the same problem as you? If so, look at how they position themselves and their products. Then look at what makes your product and solution special and different from theirs. How are you and your product different from other companies? What your product has that theirs don't. Don't approach your competitors as competitors, but rather see them as motivators or as teachers that can help you innovate your product or services by understanding their product and you figuring out ways to do your product better. What are the alternative solutions to the problem you are trying to solve that your competitors are not? Again, fine-tune and define your product even more, and your competitors can help you with that by understanding their product that is similar to yours. Half the work is done for you already. Be smart about this and analyze the situation right. Okay, so going back to Steve Jobs to draw the parallels and to connect the dots within this particular step. In this step, it is clear who is Steve Jobs' competitor, which was Bill Gates from Microsoft, of course. We can see clearly that whatever Bill Gates was doing in the computer technology world, Steve Jobs made it better. Just to share a few examples, PC is designed to be an open source, Macs are designed to be a closed source. PC design is stale, Macs are designed more with that modern look. Macs are known to be better at movie, picture, and audio production than PCs. Macs are known to be more intuitive and not crash or freeze like PCs, and so on and so on. Steve Jobs saw what was going on and he just made effort to find ways to make it better and take things to the next new level than his competitor, and it worked. Like I said, don't approach your competitors as competitors, but rather see them as motivators or as teachers to help you innovate your products or services. And we can see clearly that Steve Jobs took the technology further than his competitor. This is a great example to connect this dot. Step number 7 is having a good business model and a daily framework. It is very important for you to have a framework to make money and to scale your business. How are you planning to make money? You have to show the steps in which you have to take to make money and scale your business. You also have to show how your weaknesses affect your business and how you plan to develop your weaknesses in what time frame to further increase the strength of your product and company and to increase profits so that you can be around for years to come. Show the areas where you are able to make money and show a schedule when you expect revenues to pour in. Show the data. Alright, going back to Steve Jobs to draw the parallels and to connect the dots within this particular step. We can see clearly that Steve Jobs had many actionable strategies that on occasions he had to change due to his situation. He has small goals to target to eventually accomplish the ultimate goals. These small daily goals all led up to his product creation and launches. Small goals such as building the right team to build the right technology, hiring the right people to market and brand in ways that are different from the norm, raising money to fund a project. I mean, the list goes on when dealing with a company that has big ambitions like this. So, of course, Steve Jobs had multiple layers of all kinds of daily framework in place that met his short-term goals in order to accomplish the overall business and to scale the business. All this was part of his system and framework that act as a daily plan of action in order to accomplish the ultimate goal. Step number 8 is finding investors. Based on having a good business model, what is your planned budget? What kind of money are you looking for? What and how much do you need to get the ball rolling? And how much of the company are you willing to give? If you don't have the capital to scale your business alone, or if you reach a plateau and you can't scale your business any further, that extra help is what is needed. This is when you have to find investors who have the resources that you need to scale your business comes in, and of course, you have to be willing to give a percentage of your company away to the investor. Or you can work out some other great deal with them in exchange for them to give you money to fund your company. I know the idea of giving a percentage away of your company sounds scary, but the return of the investment is a greater win, and you just have to dive into that. In these moments, you can't look at it as a loss, but be smart about choosing your investor and make the gains more important than the loss, and make sure the gains come to reality and you will win. Alright, going back to Steve Jobs to draw the parallels and to connect the dots within this particular step. Now, Steve Jobs knew that he had to raise money to fund the project in its early stages. In 1977, this is when he met a guy named Mike McCullough, who made a deal with Steve Jobs and brought his business expertise along with $250,000, a $170,000 as a loan, and an $80,000 as an equity investment in the company to own 1/3 of the company, which was a smart move for both Steve and Mike because we all know what happened next. This was enough to get everything started and become a success. The money supports the movement of any cause, and that is a fact. So be prepared to partner up with investors if that happens to be your situation. Now, as I share this information with you, I share it in a linear way for the sake of this conversation. But by no means is this process done in a linear way. This process in reality is multidimensional. So for example, while you are discovering the problem, you and your investors already could be assembling your team, while at the same time your team is working on creating the product or building the marketing campaigns to target the data you already see in the market, and so on, as this helps to save time. A good administration will lead to faster productivity in the workspace. So in saying that, I will talk about team building and team leadership in another video, so look out for that one. Okay, my friends, I just wanted to talk to you about this topic just to get you to start thinking about these 8 steps. So I hope this video helped. Watch this video again and again to remind yourself of the 8 most important steps to start, maintain, scale, and succeed in any business so that you can identify, practice, and eventually master these steps for yourself. To further your studies, look at all the successful people that you know of and connect these 8 steps in their life process. As you do this, you will begin to identify how they apply these 8 steps. This will help you to see the 8 steps in plain view. These 8 steps has to be applied to any business and in any niche. And you can even apply these 8 steps to your personal relationships, as these 8 steps can improve your relationships when applied correctly. Now, with all that being said, if you like the way how I led this conversation, and if you want to dive deeper and want to learn more about being an entrepreneur, I'm currently creating a course about entrepreneurship and the steps you need to take to succeed as an entrepreneur, but of course, I go in greater details than what I did in this video, of course. So, if you've been looking for ways to be your best and wish to succeed in the things you want to succeed within your life, my course will help you do just that. Check out my course by clicking the link you see below this video, and you'll be redirected to a page where you can find out more about my course. As we end this, I leave you with this. Remember to find the problem. Seek ways to solve the problem and provide the solution. Introduce your idea or product, which is the solution. Build your team of experts. Know your market and figure out how to position your product, yourself, and your company. Learn from your competitors and be inspired by them. Have a great business model and set systems and frameworks in place to accomplish daily short-term goals. And be open for other investors to come in to help you if you need that extra help. Once again, I'm Luis Garcia. Good journey to you. See you soon, and thank you for watching. Hey guys, I'm Luis Garcia. I have a question for you. Did you enjoy this episode? If you did, and if you felt like you got something out of this episode, and if you resonated with this message, there are 4 things you can do right now to continue to support your journey. First, you can subscribe to my YouTube channel right here, which I hope you will, so that I can keep sending you videos that delivers important insights that can make positive changes in your life. Second, if you're watching this video on YouTube and you would like to dive deeper into this knowledge and take your life to the next new level, just click the link below this video and you'll be redirected to my website where you can sign up to receive my free podcast, free webinars, free online courses, free online programs, and receive updates on my events, new podcasts and programs, and everything else we can't do on this YouTube channel. Third, leave a comment below and share how this episode helped you and what are your next steps to improving your life. And lastly, 4, if you know someone that can benefit from hearing this message, remember to share this episode with your friends and family. I look forward to seeing you on the next video. Until then, good journey to you, and I'll see you soon. And once again, I'm Luis Garcia, and thank you for watching.